All right, so welcome, Monique. Welcome to another Travel Collective YouTube video. And this time we're talking to Monique Tonin from Happy Guru International, and she's going to share with us some things about journaling. It's why journaling is wise during travel. And we know it helps to pause, whether you're just writing about your travels or trying to discover something. Travel is a learning experience. So welcome, Monique.
Thank you. Well, yeah, why journaling why it is wise to do that during travel? Well, I remember in 2017 when I still had a home in the Netherlands. I'm now a digital nomad. I remember I booked 9 international flights while I was buying a house in the Netherlands. So it was quite busy and trying to transform my career for the next coming years. I remember every time I came back from my travel, I was like, wow, this is boring. I'm home, what am I doing here, right? And I found that during my travel, I get inspiration. So at one time, I realized that how can I change my life that I can travel more? That was one of the topics that came up to me, because when you are traveling, you're more relaxed, you're more in a dream state, because instead, when you're at home, you're in the fastlane, and which will bring you more in a detailed oriented state. And if you want a dream life and you're dreaming about something, you need to create space for it. So this is one of the reasons why it's wise to journal and actually to percolate on your desires, what you truly want in life. Maybe you caught up in situations you don't like, but you don't know how to transform it. By the way, I have just written, fresh from the press, an ebook. It's called Stop Self-Sabotaging to kickstart or jumpstart your dream life. You can find the link in the description below, because this is something, if you have those desires but you don't know how to put it into practice, well, you didn't learn anything from your travel, right? Because there's something. Why did you go to this destination? What was attractive to you? What was the reason you chose this location? And maybe you got the same like I do, that when you get home from your travel, you're like, oh, what's the next destination, right? So my desire was to travel more. And I mean, this was in 2017. And in 2021, I took the leap to live a nomadic life. And I'm telling you, the circumstances weren't right or ideal, but it's never an ideal circumstance. Actually, the circumstances are the transformation. That's when you need to act, but you need to understand what you need to do, right? So this is why it's wise journaling during travel, because it's a great moment to go inwards and percolate about how you live your life, and are you happy with it? And also think about what kind of quality decisions do you have to make to, well, open up to this next level, or maybe even bigger, your dream life, right? But it also goes by little steps and the quality decisions you make every day. And sometimes you need to make, well, a quantum leap. and make a deep, big decision, just like I did. But I'm telling you, I did this from little steps over and over again before, which made me take the next level in a bigger way, because I built the self-worth and the confidence to be able to, well, take that step. I had to become my dream person first, because before I could lead my dream life, right? So I know you all out there, you like travel, you like inspiration, you don't want to be bored. So I'm here today to invite you to, how can you make your life more exciting for you, and what do you need? You know, I was caught up, well, previous, and actually after my divorce, I realized that I was very relation oriented. So relations were very important for me, still are, but somehow I needed some space to do, well, what makes me happy, right? I didn't ask myself the question, what makes me truly happy? Because I didn't know how to go inward. So I remember this in 2017 when I booked this 9 international destinations, going by myself. I mean, it was me as a woman alone, going into the world. I was like, well, you know, how can what truly makes me happy? Well, as I mentioned before, travel was one of them, but also I wanted to live a more purposeful life. What do I say when I'm well, almost dying? It might sound a little bit heavy, but you know, I actually had a second chance. I had cancer. I didn't know if I would survive. So now I am a survivor. It really made me like, why would we spend so much time in collecting materials instead of experiences? And people who like travel like experiences, not only the because, you know, well, material stuff is most of the time comfort, but yeah, that's the only thing. It doesn't give you experience. Yeah, maybe one time when you buy it for the first time. So I just want to give you some ideas where you could journal about. And I know I did, and I'm actually teaching other people. So if you need help with that, feel free to contact me and book a call. The link is in the description as well. But I want to that's how I did it. The first topic is energy. How do you spend your energy? And especially when you think what costs you energy and what gives you energy. How is the balance in that matter, right? Because if you have to start really, really micro, small, because if you don't pay attention on how you spend your energy, or if you don't know what costs you energy and gives you energy, that's the moment you have to start to weed, get out all of the bad, negative, toxic people, you know, all kind of things you need to get rid of your life in order to let the energy compound in a positive way, because otherwise it will drain your energy and your life's energy. And as soon as you start to well, take stake of it and percolate about it, you will create more awareness around it. And then you can feel it in your body. Oh, this costs me energy and this gives me energy. So then you have to make a decision to say no to the negative energy and say yes to the positive energy. And this facilitates, of course, also your belief around it. Do you believe you deserve more energy? Do you believe this step will give you more energy and more satisfaction and is a step towards your dream life? Because in the end, we all want to be happy and feel good, right? But again, here we are great masters in sabotaging ourselves, which means that you keep creating the past over and over again until you get the insight and create the course of your direction just by getting the awareness about what gives you energy and what costs you energy. The next topic is, what about your resources? How many resources do you have? And I'm talking not alone about the tangible, but also the intangible resources. What do I mean by that? Well, intangible resources is, for instance, also energy, but it's also, what do you value? If you value honesty, you don't like to have people in your direct or as friends, people who are not honest, because they don't match your value, right? So how can you get rid of those people? Is that, do you, even though they might be like financially or maybe in another way a source of for you, but if you cannot match their values, it's almost impossible. You abandon yourself for that. But why? Why? That is something you have to ask yourself. Is it worth it to abandon yourself for somebody else? Or you say, okay, I am going to stand in my truth, and when I make the decision, the quality decision to not allow those people anymore in my life, you will attract people who are more honest. But first you have to make that decision. That is just one example of the intangible resources. And we have many more. Your talent is an intangible resource, but you can capitalize it. You can monetize it, for instance. But also, if you look at tangible resources, those are, maybe you own a house, maybe you own products, maybe you own a car, or maybe you have a big amount on your bank account. You know, those are, so what is the balance between like the experiences you have in your life and the material stuff you have in your life? How could you swap those intangible and tangible resources in order to create the life you truly want? And a good exercise for this is, and it might sound a little bit weird, but let's say your house is on fire. What do you take? What is the one thing you absolutely want to take? And you can take like 3 items. what would you take? It's life or death, right? So that's a great way to, well, to percolate for yourself what is truly important for me. How much am I attached to my tangible stuff? And as long as you're attached to those tangible stuff, you're not going to move very fast. And travel is moving all the time, right? So the more tangible resources you have, that will keep you stuck in the place you are right now. Just an example. What about your power? How do you use your power? And what I mean by power is it's also has to do with energy. When are you going to say something? How much repetition do you need to get the lesson? Is also something that you can, if you understand who you are, how much courage you have, how much vulnerability you show, and also about your self-acceptance, is something that the more you, well, it's an old way to say it, know thyself, right? It's Tony Robbins says it a lot of times, but it's true, because if you don't accept yourself and you don't know how to communicate what you truly need, it's going to be complicated with people, right? So, and if you're afraid to lose them, or if you people please all the time, people pleasing is abandoning yourself. So it won't bring you anything, because when people are done with you, or you don't give anymore, so that there needs to be a give and take. So, and sometimes that means you have to say goodbyes to certain people, to make an evaluation of the people around you and say, okay, how do I feel about this person? What do I invest and what do I get back? We tend to invest more in people who we like, instead of how much they invest in us. And that's something to think about. And you can do this greatly when you are in travel, because you're look at your life from a distance, and the distance will give you an overview about your life, because you're in a different location. So that's why it's wise to journal during your travel. Another thing is, you can have a big why, but the steps you have to take is daily. And it's wise to take steps that are aligned with your dream life. For instance, and this is maybe something, a strange way to look at it, but yeah, that's me. Let's say you want to have a relationship. You're alone, maybe because you travel a lot, but you want to have a relationship, and you encounter people, men, in my example, but you only encounter people who like to be casual. But you know yourself, you're not this kind of type of woman who wants to be casual. So, but if you go along with the guy's rules, you are abandoning yourself, right? So if a steady relationship is your goal, or your desire, don't spend your energy, your time on a guy who only wants to be casual. Understand what I'm saying? And it's the same thing for other areas in your life. If you want to have like 50 grand on your bank account, and your girlfriend says, well, let's go on a luxury cruise in the Bahamas, you're like, well, you know, I want to have 50 grand next year on my bank account. If I spend 25 right now, it will take longer to live my dream life, because you're saving money to take the leap, right? So, and this is also abandoning yourself to please other people. And then also, how many things, how much time and effort do you create income generating actions, right? So if you want to live as a digital nomad, or if you want to live and travel more, you have to think about how you can create digital products or digital services. This is intangible as well, an intangible resource, but it is absolutely income generating, right? You create, the best thing is to create one time something so that it generates money over and over again. But also, how good are you at sales? How many calls do you have every week? Or maybe you have too many calls in a week. You're full of abundance in that matter, and you like to slow down. How do you slow down, right? So it doesn't matter. The thing is, the ideas that I'm bringing to you is more about, these are topics that you normally don't think about. But if you want to create the life you want, those are necessary to think about. And because you are on a distance of your normal life, this is a very wise decision to think about those topics. And last but not least, make a statement, a financial statement of what everything you have, like the resources. Make it tangible. Put it in an Excel sheet. Put all your intangible resources on a list, but also the tangible resources, and see how you can swap it. Because as long as you have it only in your head, it doesn't speak to you. You have to see it. You have to put the pen to the paper. That's the only thing when you get insight, and also can start to create a way of, well, how can you kickstart your dream life? And this is something I help people with, to take you by the hand and go through all those topics. But I can imagine you can do it on your own, of course. But if you want to go faster and learn from me, who done it herself, I inviting you to book a call with me. That being said, there's a retreat coming up, actually two, one in September and one in January here in Mexico. And it's called Dreaming with Results. And as you know, as a traveler, you know that the experience, being in the experience, is something that we value. I do too, because you know it's different to read a book about Mexico or being in Mexico, because then you get a taste of the culture, of the weather, of how this feels. and we will do some activities that will reflect on your life, but also essential things that you might have not think about, just like the topics I just gave you. This is something I love to do because, I believe that happiness is something that could be normal also for you. And I like to help people to realize their dream life. I know after so many years and so many setbacks, I know quite good what the unwritten rules are about your dream life. And we have something in common. I like to travel, and I also like to journal and think about, but I create space for it. And I am inviting you to create space as well. And that's why, hence the topic, why it is wise to journal during your travel.
That's beautiful, Monique. Thank you for sharing all of that. I think that's something we want to do, is kind of dig deep. A lot of folks are looking to dig deep when they travel. And like you said, you can do it on your own, but you do have to pose your own questions and
absolutely,
take the time, and in a retreat opportunity, somebody is guiding you a little bit. Also, you get reflection of your peers, other folks as well, which can spark inspiration and so forth. So there's a lot of value in both of that.
Absolutely.
So,
yes.
sounds beautiful. And you've already posted some pictures of where you are in Mexico. So it looks fabulous. Looks like a great place to step back away from your life and, pause and think about what you really want and how you can shift things. So we will put all of that information in the description here for this video so folks can find it. They can find you, Monique,
Perfect.
as well as the retreat, and reach out to us directly. And I think that's it. I think that's all we have, right? That should take care of the topic that we have. I hope we can do more of these, Monique, with you, because as I said, I know that a lot of our travelers are looking for more than just arriving at a destination. They're looking for their travels to be a bit more. So wonderful. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you all.
Thank you for